Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So check this out. This is from Atomic Aviation, and this is a company that's new to the scene, and they're going to be making professional racing quadcopters. I'll have their company name down in the description, a link down there so you can check them out. What this review is going to be all about is just a quick little initial look at this guy, and then we're going to also, in the same video, go out and test run this thing in the park. But this is it here. This is the Atomic Aviation MERCURY race drone, and look at this. This is a professional race drone, carbon fiber. They basically packed it with all the electronics I need just to bind to my Tyrannus transmitter. So I'll be doing that and then going out and doing a flight test. But just wanted to do kind of an uncasing, I guess you could call it here, just to show you guys on the bench in detail of what this thing's all about before we go out and fly it. So they also sent me a frame as kind of a bonus for me in trade of this review here, and this is their frame. So it's the same frame here that I'm going to be showing you in just a second, and I can build my own MERCURY out of this frame here if I wanted to. Let's go ahead and take this out of the box. Look at this thing. So this is a piece of work. This thing is basically a full-fledged race quad. It's got carbon fiber booms here, LED strip on the back. All these separate parts are available on their site. I'm not sure if they have any pre-built quads yet, but they built this one for me just to test. And you can kind of see the design is a really nice looking design. It's got this carbon fiber kind of notched frame here, so basically it's all locking in together to make it really nice and durable. Now these are the motors they put on here for me. These are 2050 kV 220s, KDE Directs, dowel propellers. Looks like 6-inch by 45-inch pitch propellers, which of course you can change to whatever you want. Whole thing is held together with quality hex screws and aluminum standoffs. And flipping it over to the bottom, we can see that we have our XT60 connector run through. And basically here's all the stuff they put in it here. It looks like it's got an integrated ESC board, just for space saving and making it a little lighter. You can see how everything is kind of tied together. The light bar here is just held together with this nice and easy thick O-ring gasket, and everything is just bolted together with all these hex screws on the bottom. You can see that it's a high quality carbon fiber plate here on the top and the bottom. The top, actually, this is actually an option, I think, on their website. If you go to Atomic Aviation, you can actually go ahead and pick the color you want. If you want a different color top plates, just to have a little bit of personal preference accent on your quad. Then you can see that the middle ribs here, it looks like maybe a fiberglass, a cut fiberglass for cooling. Nice and ventilated here to keep all your electronics nice and cool. But that's basically it for the quad. I'm not sure what camera they put in. They put in a 200 milliwatt 32 channel Hawkeye video transmitter, and they already hooked it all up for me, ready to go. So they may be selling a configuration like this pretty soon, where they'll pre-build them. I'm not sure if they do it this time, but something to look for. They have a nice engraved insignia on top of their company there. Anyway, let's see what else they gave me here to test out. So we've got a couple of extra parts they put in the box in case something breaks in the testing. These, I believe they may have these on their site, but these are basically Turnigy graphite. So I got one 3S 1500 milliamp, and then they also gave me a 4S 1500 milliamp, so I can really kind of go ahead and test the power of this thing and make sure it's working great. Put it through a couple of crashes. Here's an extra antenna they gave me for this test, and an extra set of props here. So I got a whole extra set of props they put in this package. And then just pulling off the top layer into the bottom of the box. Really nice case here. This would be for a transmitter and another little area for batteries or whatever other peripherals you got. They threw in an extra tube for me, an arm, just in case I broke an arm or something, which I probably won't unless I really crash super hard. But this thing's supposed to be super durable. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys initially out of the box what this thing looks like before I go ahead and fly it and possibly bang it up a little bit. So anyway, let me go ahead and charge up all these batteries, and let's get out to the park and do our crazy flight test with this. I'll go ahead and record with my Fat Shark, so go ahead and record what the video looks like on that. And I may actually go ahead and rig up like the run cam on here just to get some high definition video as well, and I'll have those 2 videos up on the screen so you can kind of see the whole thing. So let's get to the park and go fly this thing. Alright, cool. So we're at the park here with the Atomic Aviation Mercury, and gonna give this sucker a decent flight test. What we're gonna do first is go ahead and do a line of sight with a 4S battery. So here's the 4S battery. I'm gonna pop this on, do a line of sight so you guys can kind of see its maximum performance line of sight. And then I also have a 3S battery here, and then I'm gonna pop this in. We're gonna put on the Fat Shark goggles, record the video in the Fat Shark goggles, and do an FPV flight with the run cam mounted up here on the bottom, so you guys can see how that looks from the high definition run cam, as well as what the FPV looks like, what I'm seeing in the goggles. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up with the 4S battery first and do our line of sight, see how this thing performs. I'm gonna plug in here. So we have basically just arming, disarming, and then we have I think it's horizon mode and acro mode. So let's see how this thing does line of sight. So basically when you arm, the propellers are going to be spinning, and let's see how it does. Alright, cool. So this looks like we're in acro. Let me see what the switches are. Okay, there's full self-leveling. So this is like attitude mode. Wow, so very responsive. I haven't adjusted any PID settings. This is how they sent it to me. I just kind of bound the switches to my Tyrannus. So you can see how quick, if you're a beginner, this would be the one for you. Full self-leveling. When I let off the controller, it's just self-stabilizing. And here's what we can expect for full pitch. You can see how it's almost like vertical, and here's the roll, full right roll. So that's basically out of the factory how they tuned it for me, the settings you can expect. So let's see what else we got here. So I don't have any horizon mode, so I'm not going to have self-leveling and flips, but I did enable acro. So let's just try to fly around in regular attitude mode and see how fast it is. So this is 4S, so this is going to be incredibly quick. And let's just see the punch test. So watch this. So full throttle up. Oh, that's insane. I got full stick down, and we can see that it keeps its level because the propellers are still spinning just slightly when you let off the throttle. Anyway, here's what we can expect for the yaw rate. So really quick yaw, so you're gonna want to be careful with that yaw rate. And here's gonna be like a full pitch forward and full throttle right now. You see how incredibly fast that is. Kind of lost orientation there for a second. But you can see the lights on the back and the front. Same color. Kind of headlights and tail lights. So this is going to be an insane race quad for anybody who wants to kind of start getting into racing. This thing is nuts. Look at this performance. Insane. This is nuts. So this is 4S, keep in mind. So you're just gonna have a great time if you're, you know, trying to learn some acrobatics. This might also be good for you, but the way they set this up is just phenomenal. And I think they're gonna have these things available like this, all set up like this for you if you wanted to buy a full setup version. We'll have the links down there in the description, so you can go ahead and check that link for this company and just see what they're all about. Looks like they make some solid stuff. Here's a little close-up shot. See the FPV camera in the front. I don't have the run cam mounted, but 6-inch propellers, fully carbon fiber, and this is the way they set it up for me. They're gonna have some alternate parts. Alright, cool guys, so got the other battery mounted up. This is the 3S battery. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this beeper on here just so when I am FPVing I can hear those beeps before I destroy the battery. Should be maybe about 5 minutes of runtime, and I got the Fat Sharks here, so let's go ahead and put these things on and see what we can do FPV. Let's go ahead and arm the motors, and I'm going to start off in, I think I'm going to be in self-leveling, but let's just check it out. So let's go try this Mercury out. Okay, so this is right in acro mode. Now I'm in self-leveling mode. So let's just fly around in self-leveling for a minute. See how this thing is. Just kind of fly around, get a feel for it. These settings. So it's real jerky. I mean, I'm pitching forward and I'm letting off the stick, and you can see how quick it, self-levels. So just for kind of maybe warming up or saving yourself, you're going to want to go into self-leveling. I'm going to go ahead and switch into acro mode now right away. So now I'm in acro. You can see that when I let off the stick, basically just right where I left it off. And I do have 2 right-hand polarized antennas on this thing. So look how smooth this thing is. So super smooth. Let's try to hit this tree underneath here. There you can see how nice and smooth it is. Let's go ahead and try some flips. So there we go. So nice and easy to do some flips. Try to get some more speed over these trees. So a setup like this, I mean, if you're going to get into like pro racing, this is going to be the thing to have. You can see how I went under that tree and you can just punch out. And keep in mind, this is 3S, so this doesn't even have the punch as 4S does, but still totally easy to control. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm getting a little bit of lines in my FPV screen. You can see that there recording. It seemed like it was kind of after I punched it, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe the transmitters having a little bit of trouble, so it's getting kind of hard to see. I don't know what's going on with the FPV, so I'm going to bring it in and land. It was nice and clear at first. Let me switch back into self-leveling and just try to get this thing back down. Disarm. So you can see in the recording there, you see how it's a little bit blurry. So let me go ahead and check that out and see if maybe there's just something on the screen, or if I can fix the antenna or something. Okay, so I think I figured out what happened here is the vibration just kind of, you can see the camera, the FPV camera is all loose now. So the vibration kind of loosened it. I guess it wasn't too tight. So you see this collar. I'm just going to tighten it up. So I got to refocus this. And I actually wasn't recording on the run cam, I forgot. So let me go start that recording too after I refocus this. And we'll have another session on the FPV. Okay, here we go. So everything should be recording now. Went ahead and focused the camera. The waves kind of went away. I'm not sure if it's just maybe a VTX issue. Let's get this thing up in the air and just fly around a bit more until the battery dies. See what happens. Okay, so going into acro mode. Alright, so pretty good. Everything's going really well. Really comfortable with this thing. Seems like really easy to control. You can see how simple it is with this thing. So I'm way up in the other park, and just really easy. Let's go ahead and before the rain comes in, let's go ahead and just try to go maybe under some trees and stuff, some canopies. There we go. So look how easy that is. Oh, okay, there's the waves again coming in from the VTX. So not really sure what those waves were, but they went away, so maybe it's just some kind of interference or something. Nothing too major. But you can see how easy this thing is to fly, so I think I might be buying this thing from these guys at Atomic Aviation, because I'm really liking this thing. So I'm not hearing any beeping yet, and you can see how pinpointed accuracy this thing is. So everything is good, man. This thing is really performing well. Let's try to go kind of low and tight. So real easy. The thing's tuned really well in this acro mode. Really enjoying this. Let's try to go through this tree here. That was awesome. So I went right through that tree. Oh, okay, so we're out of power apparently. So let's go ahead and get this guy. Alright, I didn't hear the beeper, so I guess that beeper wasn't working. Okay, so that was awesome. So sorry, Atomic Aviation, I forgot to actually plug in this beeper the second time I launched, and I hope I didn't destroy your battery, but if I did, I'll definitely pay for it. I'm thinking of just buying this thing from them. I'm really liking this. A precision tool for sure for FPV racing. And just flying in general, really enjoying this. The run cam will have had this recording so you guys could see the quality of this thing, how it is navigating. So really impressed with this. Little pros and cons. Really nothing much aside from just a couple things that were loose. This camera focus was a little bit loose. It came loose in flight, as you can see, and then an occasional hiccup with the VTX. Maybe it was kind of overheating, but you know, these are all aftermarket parts that you're going to put in yourself, or if they end up having like a almost ready to fly version or ready to fly version. But overall, I have to say, pretty darn impressed, and I think I'm going to be buying this review model from them just because it's an awesome piece of hardware. Really liking it. They have some other different hop-ups on their site where you can change the color of this top plate if you want to. They have all kinds of parts on their site, and that's atomicaviation.com, I believe. And again, this was the Mercury. Anyways, I hope you like that kind of full review, flight review. We got the line of sight. You can see how fast it was on the 4S, and then also the 3S with the FPV. Me flying around, going through some pretty tight obstacles that I don't normally go through, but since this is such a precision tool, it really had no problem. So really impressed with this guy. Anyway guys, I'll go ahead and have the links to all this stuff down in the description. Also the run cam, if you liked what you saw on the screen, I'll have that down in the description too, and you can check that out. Also the Tyrannus and the Fat Shark goggles, you know, I'll have those in the description too. If you're getting into this and you want really a kind of a pretty much pro setup, these are the peripherals to get: the Fat Sharks, Tyrannus, and then this is going to be a definite competitor in the race drone realm. Also, I think one thing I forgot to mention in the table setup and unbox inspection was that these arms can actually rotate forward. So if you wanted some rotation in your arms for faster flying, and I think that's why they make this camera at a set a set level, because you can go ahead and rotate these arms as far forward as you want and go ahead and it'll keep the craft pretty level. You got to be kind of better at flying by then if you are going to kind of fix these more forward, because it is a little bit harder to control and it's harder to hover. But that is a possibility. You can go ahead and just loosen a couple screws here. Anyway guys, I hope you liked the review. I do a lot of reviews like this, so check out my channel and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.